This happened to me a couple years back. First, a little backstory. Back when I first moved into the state I currently live in, I had done a bit of couch surfing before finally being able to find a roommate. We moved into a rather old apartment in the quieter part of the big city. When I say old, I mean radiator heating, electricity so bad that running too many things in sockets popped the breaker, and so on. The apartment was really old. I was the first to move in because my roommate had not yet gotten into the state. They were moving from Arizona. I had no furniture or anything, so I was sleeping on the floor. By default, I always close the door to the room I'm sleeping in. It's just a habit of mine, even if I am alone in a place. One thing I noticed about the door was that it took quite a bit of force to get it shut. No big deal. I got it closed after a good push. I went to bed, and that was that. When I woke up in the morning, the door was wide open. I found it strange because I had given the door a little tug before going to sleep the night before. I didn't think much of it at the time until it kept happening over and over again. Every single night I would close the door, make sure it was closed, and in the morning it would be wide open. After a while, I noticed the apartment started to have a weird feeling. About a week later, my roommate finally arrived and moved in. On and off, weird things would happen outside of the door being opened when I would wake up. There were sounds of someone rustling in the kitchen, random footsteps long after both me and my roommate went to bed, and much more. I know for a fact the footsteps were not of my roommate because he would always turn the hallway light on when he went to the bathroom or the kitchen. For the year and a half we lived there, that seemed to be the only bit of disturbances we faced. Nothing major. Fast forward to a year later, and I had a good friend come visit us for a week. The night had crept up on us rather quickly, and we were going to the busy city the following morning rather early, so we decided to end the night and go to sleep. My roommate and my friend slept on the pull-out couch in the living room while I went to my room and shut the door firmly. I made sure it was fully shut before passing out on my bed rather quickly. I was only out for an hour before I was awakened by a creaking noise and the jiggling of my bedroom's door handle. I opened my eyes only to watch the door slowly open and then stop after it was wide open. There was no one there. It just opened by itself, right in front of my eyes. I assumed that maybe I just didn't shut it properly, even though I had double-checked before going to sleep. But it still felt weird. I got up, closed the door, pulled the hood of the hoodie I was wearing up, and went to bed again. It was freezing cold during the winter. Only a few minutes had passed. I was about to fall asleep again, before I felt something snatch hold of the hood of my hoodie and yank back as if trying to tug me along with it. I went stone still and felt my heart racing. I had no idea what was happening, and I know for sure I wasn't dreaming. My first thought was that maybe it was one of my friends trying to prank me or something. I turned around to see who it was, but there was no one there. I was the only one in the room, and the bedroom door was still closed. It took a while for me to calm down, but once everything had settled, my nerves included, I tried to get a little more sleep. Morning came, and I went out of my room to meet my friends who were just waking up. I asked them if they heard my door opening at all during the night. They were confused and answered no, and got up for their morning routine. I have no logical explanation for what happened that day. I may have been hallucinating out of fear, or it could have very well been a spirit in that apartment. Both are plausible, but it doesn't take away just how scary it was in the moment. I think about it now and then, and if I'm going to be honest, I'm so glad I moved out of that apartment later that year.